call this meeting of New Iberia City Council to order. We have the prayer and the pledge led by Councilwoman Peggy Durrett.
Maybe the last time. Our Father,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,
As we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Natalie Rovan.
Present.
Councilmember Peggy Durrett.
present.
Councilmember Robert Swear.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember David Merrill.
Here.
Councilmember Raymond Lewis.
Present.
And Councilmember Calvin Begno.
Here.
Mayor Curry, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The first agenda item, well, first of all, I'd ask if you have a cell phone to please put it on silent. And the first agenda item is public comment, and it's an opportunity for anyone in the audience to come and have 3 minutes to speak concerning an agenda item. And there's no discussion. I don't think we have any cards completed, though. No cards? Okay, no one to address the council this evening. The next agenda item is acceptance of the minutes of the October 18th, 2016 meeting as published on Thursday, October 27th, 2016.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Merrill, second by Mr. Doyle. Is there any discussion? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. The next agenda item are persons to address the council, and the first person that we have here this evening is Ms. Catherine Segura with the Spanish Festival, and I also see Mr. Abra Rayo in the audience, who's also involved with the festival.
Thank you so very much for allowing us to come before you this afternoon. I am Catherine Segura, and I have been with the Spanish Festival since its inception. In New Iberia, we're very fortunate. We have a number of different cultures. In New Iberia, though, in 1779, under the Spanish rule, which at then was Governor Bernardo de Galvez, commissioned Bulani to go to Spain and bring people interested in settling to come and settle New Iberia. And that's how this organization came to be. In the year 1812, Louisiana became a state, and in 2012, the governor wanted each municipality to have something that was worth celebrating in relation to New Iberia. So that's how and when the festival was established. This year, we're focusing on remembering Bulani. Of course, Bulani Plaza, as you know, is right here in downtown New Iberia, and that's where our festival is going to be. Each one of you have at your seats a rack card that is part of what came from the poster in recognition of Bulani. The people that did come, and you know these names very easily. One of the council members' name is from a founding family, and the mayor's mother was also from the founding families. So the members, the people who did come and settle in New Iberia in 1779 after crossing the Atlantic and coming through the Gulf of Mexico, landing in New Orleans and coming down the Teche all the way to New Iberia is mind-boggling. But those people were Gary, Lopez, Miguez, Prados, Romero, Segura, and Viator, and they're still, I know that you have heard of these names, and many of us have family members by those names. And so in recognizing and remembering New Iberia, we have the Spanish Festival. We have students that come. We've twinned with a town in Spain that's called Aljorin de la Torre, and each year we have had students that come, and Abra is going to tell you about the student exchange. I'm just going to tell you a little more about the things that we will be offering, and that's going to be November 18th, 19th, and 20th. Of course, in honoring Bulani, each one of you was given a pin to help you remember and cherish that we actually had people that came here to start up New Iberia, and it's continuing today. It's one of 4 settlements that continues to grow and is the only city founded by the Spanish that continues to grow. Some of the things that we're going to have this coming weekend, of course, we have a queen now, a Spanish queen, and we will be having that this Saturday. If you know of any young people who would like to participate in that, it's not too late. There is information for you to contact. Then on the 18th, we're going to be having a gala, and that's how we raise money to promote the educational experiences that we have for our children in order to continue the understanding and knowledge of the founding of New Iberia. Then we have, on that same afternoon, on the Friday, we have a lecture which is open to all students, and I've had some of the teachers at the schools want to bring their students. And of course, it's part of the ticket event for the adults. And there they're going to hear Dr. Michael Martin talk on bullying. Then we have a Spanish exhibit that's going to be at the Bayou Teche Museum, and that's going to continue even after that night. And then we have a Spanish gala. And again, that's how we raise funds for this event. Starting first thing the Saturday morning, we have Running of the Bulls, which is in Spain, very, very popular in Pamplona. And we don't have the live bulls. We wouldn't have one storefront that would be unbroken if we did. So no, we have some of the students that run as bulls for the event. And of course, we have a parade, a walking parade. We have the welcome and the opening by our mayor. We have a reenactment, paella and tapas. If you haven't had paella and tapas, do come by. It's a wonderful Spanish dish. Then we have the reenactment, which helps everybody understand what happened when they did first settle. After that, we have arts and crafts. That is going to be available, children's activities, and music, lots of great music, and flamenco dancing. Then on the Sunday, to finish up everything, I'm sorry, I left out one important thing that is crucial to the upkeep of St. Peter's Cemetery, and that is St. Peter's Cemetery tour that we are very happy to be in partner with. Mr. Freddie DeCourt was instrumental in getting that going, and it's for the upkeep of the cemetery. So that finishes the Saturday, and then the Sunday, as all good Christians do, you give thanks, and that's what will be taking place at 11 o'clock on Sunday. And now I'm going to ask Aber to come up and let him tell you about the education exchange and how we're promoting the knowledge of the founding of New Iberia.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, council members and Madam Mayor. Like Catherine talked about the educational activities that we have, there are 2 very important ones, and one of them is going to be at Nish in the auditorium at New Iberia Senior High on Friday, the 18th. We're going to have 2 sessions because there are others. We're trying to involve all the schools in the parish, all the high schools, where we bring in flamenco dancers and we bring in Spanish guitarists, and they teach the kids about Spanish music and flamenco dancing, and they even include the kids on stage while they're doing it, so they have fun with that. Last year we had 1 session. It was so well received that this year we decided to have 2 sessions. It's going to be at 8:15 on Friday. If you don't have anything better to do, you're welcome to come to Nish, 8:15, no charge to you. The other thing is we do a student exchange with the Alorín de la Torre, and this year we're going to have 9 students coming to live with the New Iberia family for 2 weeks, and they're going to for them, coming from Spain, speaking English is very important. They want to come here and practice their English. And so they're going to be with families who speak, of course, speak English very well. and hopefully they will be able to take home a lot of good memories from their visit here in New Iberia. We've had this for 5 years, the student exchange, and one young man, this is his 3rd year coming from Spain, and he's already told his parents he's not staying in Spain, he's moving to Louisiana. So it's really, it's really a good thing to see the kids. I mean, they're kids, no matter where you go, kids are kids, and they interact so well. So we thank you for supporting the idea of a Spanish festival. It's part of our culture, it's part of our history for the city, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you both for being here and for all the work that you do. The festival's really wonderful, and it's grown over the last years. Thank you. The next agenda item is Mr. Calvin Bagno to address the council. He's
Do I need
council.
to go up there?
I think it would be good. Council Member District 6.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make a brief statement. In 2008, when I decided to run for office, it was a great joy for me and it was an experience, and I happened to win. And I've served my 2 terms on the council. And during that time, I just want to just touch a little briefly about those two terms. I've had a wonderful time with the councilman, working with you. But let me follow the script first. During those 8 years, we've accomplished many things, and we're given many challenges that we had to tackle head on. Some of the accomplishments were the street programs, the improvements, the steamboat warehouse, the improvement to downtown area. We gave a new dimension to Bulani Plaza. We've had city awards for our downtown program and for other things throughout the city. We've improved the West End area with street lights and with sidewalks. We got a great sidewalk, safe route to schools programs with the sidewalks that were there. Hopefully we're finished with our consent decree on our sewer projects that we have, which will help the city in the future. And we've had a lot of other Ormico Canal project and also the Daspit Road project. We've had some great projects that we've accomplished in the last 8 years, and I'm very proud of that. We've also had our issues, and and some of those issues were the taxes, the decrease in the sales taxes, the layoffs, the equipment that was failing on us. We need to repair and replace equipment. And all this time, we were working to keep the citizens happy, to give them what they deserve and they demanded. And I think we did a fairly good job of doing that. My love of the city has never wavered from the time that we moved here. We were kind of immigrants too. We moved here when I was a year old, and I've always enjoyed New Iberia and loved New Iberia. Recently, a young man told me that he was moving away, and he hoped that I would continue working for the city to try to make it better. And I told him, "You go ahead and move. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to do the best I can. Even though I'm not going to be in politics anymore, I will be behind the scene, continue to make New Iberia better. Because without growth and prosperity, then we're not going to get anywhere." So I'm still hoping for good things to happen here, and I want the young people to stay or come back to New Iberia. So we need to continue working for that. I want the young kids to raise their families here. I think we have the potential of doing that. So we need this growth, we need diversity, and we need to have open minds and have this openness to change and make New Iberia better. So speaking of young people, I firmly believe that I'm leaving my district in good hands. Mr. Dustin Swear I've known since he was an infant. I know his family. I know his extended family, his wife and his in-laws. He's a great young man, and I've watched him grow up since he was born, as I said, and I wish him the best. I think he'll do a great job, and he knows he can always call on me if he needs any help or if he wants my opinion. I'll give him my opinion, and we'll go from there. I also like to address the candidates for the upcoming elections, and always remember that the main reason you serve is to make a positive impact on those people in the city. That's why you're here. So continue, hopefully you keep that in mind. Nothing else matters. Negativity will destroy a community. Positivity or positive actions will build the community. Keep that in mind. And I'd also like to thank some of the other people that made my life enjoyable the last 8 years. Mayor Hilda Curry, thank you. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but we've worked well together, and the common goal was to make New Iberia better. Her staff, thank you, Elmira. I can't name everybody, but Elmira, Sandra, thank you all for what y'all have done. The department heads, I don't think I've had any problems with any of the department heads. Again, we may not have seen eye to eye, but overall we got along and we got things done. I appreciate everything they've done for me. and the office staff, and then thankfully for the residents of District 6 for voting me in the first time and then going unopposed the second time. That gave me the vote of confidence to say that I was doing a good job. I thank the residents of District 6. Now, I know that I didn't make everybody happy, but I tried. My heart was always in the right place, and I always did it for the betterment of the city. And the citizens in New Iberia also, thank you. Lastly but not least, my family and friends and my wife, Patricia. When we discussed, at the end of my term, she says, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm not sure." She said, "Well, what are you going to do to find more money to replace what you were getting from the city?" I said, "Well, we'll have to see." So I think I might have to work a little more, find another job. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for that, and I want to do it now because we're getting close to the end of our term. We have a few more meetings left, but I want to let everybody to know that I appreciate everything that they've done for me, and I thank you.
Very much, Calvin. You've done a great job.
Like sitting next to me.
Okay, next person to address the council this evening is a candidate for District 5 City Council member, and it is our present City Council member, Mr. Raymond Shudu Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor, my fellow colleagues. I come to you to announce tonight, and the public and the citizens of District 5, that I am Raymond Shudu Lewis, number 105 on your ballot. May the work I've done speak for me. That's a black gospel song we often sing. May the service I give and have given speak for me. I started in 2004 running for city council. As I knocked doors, I wrote on the cards, "Shudu can do." I knocked a second round of the district. I said, "Shudu will do." I knocked the third time in District 5. I said, "Shudu would be proven to do." I'm glad tonight, 10 years later as a council member, 2 years as a Iberia Parish School Board member, I have a record of service that's reflective of the people that I serve in District 5 and throughout the city of New Iberia. Now I'll tell you about my record. Installed sidewalks on Lombard and Ann Street in a tune of $161,000. Budgeted for throughout the district and for 20 Orphan Road, and solved the drainage problem at Bank Street and Pesson Elementary School, and working together with the Iberia Parish School Board, when I wasn't even a member, $629,000. Budgeted, and it's still budgeted, for new drainage throughout District 5 of $360,000. Road improvements in District 5 in a tune of $2.5 million. Upgraded the Slyman and its adjoining parking areas, as well as Buck Johnson then, in a tune of $111,000. Created safer neighborhoods with brighter street lights. I ride around early in the morning. I used to ride around late at night. when your street lights would be off next to your house or across the street, and you know you hadn't called, Shudu Lewis called. Insisted when I came into office on transparency by taping our city council meetings so those who don't get out in the evenings anymore and at that time could see how we were spending the taxpayers' money and how, as elected officials on the New Iberia City Council, were doing their bidding. Hopkins Street improvements at $2.1 million. I have to comment right there because I'm a true speaker and I speak the truth. And the election is not going to curtail what I say because people that know me expect me to say and call it how I see it. We spent $2.1 million, sidewalks and beautiful lighting on Hopkins. Taxpayers' money, west, east, north, and south of New Iberia, taxpayers' money. And you can't expect me to fix your house and you allow it to be torn down and then expect me to come back and fix it again. You have to take some responsibility. What is going on, what we see on Hopkins with the money we've spent, it's ridiculous. It is horrible. And I'm going to call an ace and a spade a spade. We budgeted and spent $455,000 for the Steamboat Warehouse. I remember that was Katrina passed. Freddie DeCourt, and I'm not playing politics here, when it had crushed, the building started crumbling. He was there gathering bricks. This was a project I have to, in all fairness, say. He's into art. I'm not into art. He's about preserving. I'm about preservation. But he didn't stop until this project was done, and I had told him where to find the last $100,000 to get it done. We resurrected for 5 successful years something they used to call brown sugar on the West End. We renamed it the Family Fun Fest on Hopkins, where we blocked off Hopkins in an orderly fashion, had security, paid for insurance in case anybody got hurt or had an accident. None of that happened, and it was very successful. Through a grant written by our city clerk for $100,000 the first time, Miss Elmira Ellich. The second time, she saw it again. She wrote for it again. 20 handicapped citizens, senior citizens and handicapped people received ramps, bathroom accessory, and everything. And thanks to Miss Ellich and my parish councilman, Lloyd Brown, because we had to go and get some names. She was whipping the whip to make sure we had the necessary names and information. We became paralegals and everything else, researching properties, and we, in the tune of $200,000, we helped so many people. Pesson Elementary School, Safe Route to School grant. We're prepared to get that for $100,000. Instrumental I was, and the city and Mr. Brian Gottro's office, in the development in Moss Oak and Bayou to Bayou single-family starter homes. Between the two, they built right at 100 homes. Finally, I personally assisted the American Red Cross and others during natural disasters. I just didn't bring my plaque of cards I rode around with Katrina, Rita, Lily, and Ike, helping people. I have a record of service for the people of District 5, working together with others, the parish council members, the parish president, the state representatives throughout Iberia Parish. The ability to work with other elected and state officials, 182 East and West and St. Peter Street, Highway 675, drainage and overlay within the district started in 2016. Working together with Armco to successfully start funding after a 40, 50 year, whatever year talk about. We finally have something in place, and I'm here tonight to tell you it was designed to pump water out in stages. And August 12th and 13th and 14th, it rained. The 15th, the Monday, the west end was drained dry, bone dry. I saw it for myself at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were able to work together to get T-Bayou addressed with a span bridge and dredged out. We were able to work together, and some of this is the past. Council members, same administration, Santiago Cooley. When I started my run, I vowed never to take a contribution from anyone, that any election that I would run for, I would fully fund it myself. I have kept my promise to the people, and why wouldn't I accept contributions? Because of special interests, good old boys, and good old past politicians. When you take money from someone, you owe them. When you borrow money, they're looking for something from you to repay as a council member. I owe no one a thing. The people of District 5 and the citizens of New Iberia, but good, sound representation. I have done that, and I have went above and beyond to answer anyone's concern, return my calls, go by, stop in, check on. I've done it. I have a record of service. Now, when you start taking money from people, you owe them a debt. Candidates' reports, you owe them something. I owe no one nothing. This is my opponent's report. I borrowed nothing from no one. I owe nobody nothing. You couldn't then, and you can't now come ask me for a favor. If it ain't right, I'm not doing it. You can give me, try to give me, because I'm not taking nothing from you. I'm too scared of the Louisiana Board of Ethics. And I was raised better. I worked for the things that I want. And if I don't have them, at some time the Lord's going, if he deems that's what he desires me to have, I'm going to have it. I am Raymond Shudu Lewis, the proud representative of District 5 in the city of New Iberia. My blood runs red, but I'm one of the sweetest, oiliest, and sometimes saltiest person you want to meet. But I have never lied to people, and I've never pretended. I know who I am. With that said, I'm looking forward to serving with the next mayor, Mr. Swear. Since you went unopposed, I'm looking forward to serving with you. You hear tonight what I'm about. I'm just about the business of the citizens of not just District 5, all of New Iberia, as I have always been. My classmate, my friend, my church member. Am I saying something I have never been? Mr. Bowser, Mr. Broussard, Miss Olmsted, Miss Simon. Nothing but the truth. Raymond Shudu Lewis, I can do, I will do, and check the record. I've proven to do. Check my opponent's record. Owe somebody. I don't, but the citizen.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. The next person to address the we don't have anybody else.
that's it.
The next agenda item is agenda item 5, and it's a resolution. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute for and on behalf of the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, a notice of acceptance from E.B. Futch and Sons for the wastewater collection rehabilitation project basins A, C, and G.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bagno, second by Mr. Swear. And we do have Mr. Palumbo here this evening if you have any questions, but correct me if I'm wrong. This is the last project that we have to complete for this consent decree, these last two that are on the agenda. So I don't know if you have questions, but Mr. Palumbo is here this evening if you have questions.
I got a question.
Okay, Mr. Palumbo, go ahead. Mr. Doyle.
We had quite a few contracts through these years to meet the requirements we needed. But this is one, looks like that was, the contract started in 2013.
Correct.
And so they have everything but this punch list that we have to, how many more contracts that we still have out there before we finish, consent? I mean,
This is the
pretty much it?
last of the Mohicans. It was
I
a
mean,
two-
but we have other contracts that we're working on, that we're doing stuff with, that's not part of the,
absolutely.
okay. So these two are the only two left.
That's correct. This ACG project, and not the LCDB project that's coming up after this. This ACG project is the last project that I am going to say was tied to the consent
Do
decree.
you know how much his contract was?
2.9 million.
2.9 million? Thank you, Vince.
And Mr. Rack?
How you feeling?
I feel good.
Well, first of all, you always did assist me well and answer all my questions, and I appreciate it. Did the water that they have on Anderson Street, you know, that they never had before, affect our pump back there some kind of way? You know about the project?
There was a local water leak there for a while, I'm not sure if, I saw Loco attempted to fix that. I'm assuming it's been repaired, but it's not really enough water to get into those pumps and give those pumps any kind of trouble. It's just not enough volume.
Okay, then, thank you, Mr. Plummer.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Mr. Merrill?
Yeah, I was just wanting to say, y'all did a good job on it. I wasn't on the council when this went down, but I want to just make sure that in the near future, that we can follow up on it so we don't get in the same situation again.
Absolutely. Well, you'll see on here that we're gonna be borrowing some more money to keep up the work
saw
that
that.
we've begun, so we don't get in trouble
Right,
again.
and if something looks like it's coming our way, we can address it real early, so we can make sure.
It's coming, and I'll be
Yeah.
coming to you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. The next agenda item, 5B, Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute for and on behalf of the city of New Iberia, Louisiana, a notice of acceptance from E.B. Fudge and Sons Incorporated for the sewer system improvements to the Persian Street area.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Lewis. Second by Mr. Begnaud. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just have a comment, because I wanted to kind of keep my announcement brief. But I'd like to thank Mr. Palumbo for all the rehab and grants that you did for people that couldn't afford to do private repairs. The city did. And I know you've worked with me on those things as well as your staff at wastewater. And I want to thank you for that, because just in District 5, if my memory served me correctly, we had rehab of our lines, Dan and Ms. Broussard, on Cherokee Street to the old plant off of Ann Street, and Hopkins, other areas of the district, Persian, in a tune of probably about $1.5 million in work done to better our position towards the end consent decree. So I just want to publicly thank you, because I had that there, but I wanted, for time constraint, I didn't want to bore people. Thank you for the job.
Anyone else have any?
I
Mr.
always,
Rice?
you know, they thought that was gonna be a monster there, and other people did too, with the system they put on Persian Street and Jefferson. And I wanna say that it have been very well kept up, and it's an improvement.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Pat, ask you to please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. The next agenda item, 5C, Madam Clerk, another resolution.
A resolution authorizing the mayor for and behalf of the Board of Trustees to enter into a supplemental intergovernmental agreement with Sewer District Number 1 of Iberia Parish for engineering and surveying services work associated with the detention pond levee failures.
Motion.
A motion, Mr. Merrill, and second by Mr. Swear. Is there any discussion? Mr. Palumbo, Mr. Dahl has a question.
This pond, wasn't it done, or Mr. Joe Gonzalez was alive then, and didn't R.J. Broussard did this pond? Is that the don't they have two ponds there?
No, it's one
It's the
pond.
one they large. Now, those levees, and that's not many years ago.
Correct.
that he
was
did
in
this.
2005, right?
So, and they having trouble with the levees breaking and falling apart?
That's correct.
And so you got to get a, R.J. Broussard, when he did it originally, I might be, it was R.J. Broussard.
The construction company,
yeah.
correct.
When he did it originally, they had an engineer that did it then?
Yes.
And this is the engineer that did it then?
No.
Okay.
We're using a different engineering firm now.
Okay. So why didn't we use the engineer that designed the project to look at the project?
There was a failure between the failures we're seeing now in the original construction in 2012. We did use the same engineer to look at that failure. There were some repairs done that you all approved shortly thereafter to the tune of $400,000. Those repairs are showing signs of failure. So I came to the mayor and recommended we go with another firm, both civil and geotechnical, this go-round to make sure that we don't have.
So the engineers has no responsibility to be responsible for something they've designed that failed?
Yes,
Okay. So they do, but then they not responsible?
Yeah, they have responsibility. The burden of proof, I guess, is on us to determine that.
I was just wondering, because it seemed like it was pretty, I remember when all that went down.
Yes.
You know, so we could spend $43,500 of our money to match us, the parish, to get another engineer to tell us how to fix it?
They're going to tell us, in their opinion, what caused the failures, how to prevent them, and how to repair the failures that have occurred. And at that point, I can tell you if the previous engineering
Okay.
may be questionable, or the
Okay.
construction of it may have been
Because you could be
questionable.
talking about another $500,000 to repair.
I think
maybe.
that's being conservative.
Well, our
A
share.
lot more, a lot more.
I was just talking about responsibility, and that's why we have engineers and architects, for someone that's smarter than we are to tell us how to do it, and when it doesn't work. I was just questioning,
I agree,
Okay.
and we'll look at that in time when we have information
Okay.
to make decisions.
just a question.
Yes, Mr. Merrill?
So, and I understand what Mr. Dahl's saying, so once we prove the burden that it was their fault, can we come back up on them legally?
I would think that the mayor in that position at that time will make that decision.
Right.
I would say you have that,
'Cause, yeah, I
that
understand that,
option.
'cause I
It's not
understand
my
what he's
call.
talking about. Okay, thank you.
We don't have all of the information.
Right, but I
We
understand
need
what he's
that.
saying, we have to have the burden of proof first.
One more question. Where's that money coming from?
We're in the process of borrowing it.
Out of your department?
The city's borrowing the money, yeah. It's a be a loan.
Y'all approved it.
EPA.
Y'all approved the EPA.
It's in this budget yet?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Y'all have approved the
Okay,
EPA
that's all I
loan.
need to know.
it's in there.
And just for the public to know, in case they don't understand, this is the plant that we share with the parish.
Correct.
So if,
Cool, thank you.
and we, working 50/50 on the repairs.
That's correct.
Anybody?
We
Mr.
don't
Sweet?
operate on the plant no more 50/50, I'm being,
No, it's based on use,
But the
proportional use.
repairs,
the repairs and things, yeah.
The repairs are
repairs are
50/50.
It used to be 50/50 and everything.
Correct, that's correct.
anyone else?
So
Go ahead, Cal.
So if I understand right, we're approving this to get an engineer to look at it to let us know why it failed?
That's correct. We have to do some more geotechnical sampling, some analysis, and let those people who know more than you and I tell us.
Do we have a timeline of when they might get back with us on that, or is that?
I hope to issue a notice to proceed to the engineers tomorrow. But for the construction and the rehab, I would say by November of next year would be
So
pretty
we're looking at next
conservative
administration
to have
make a
everything
decision where to
resolved.
go with this. So, okay.
Oh, it's gonna take a while. It's a big project. I mean,
Well, I know, but I'm just curious.
it's an 8.5 acre impoundment. It's big. It's not a
So
little.
it basically lasted, what, 10 years before it failed?
Correct.
Or, no, didn't we just do something prior to that, 2012, you said?
Yeah,
Not
2012, so
quite. It was 8 years.
eight years. And they were pretty significant failures. I mean, we had to address them. I can tell you as much as I know, the second round of reviews, the second geotechnical engineering group, we looked at the first set of data that was done in 2012. By all accounts, looking at the data that was there, we should not have seen any failures. Not with the first set, the first design, nor the second redesign. So we've switched engineers, we've switched civils and geotechnical engineers, and we'll see what they come up with.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I just got a comment.
Mr. Lewis?
And Ms. Palumbo, I understand you wanting to switch and get a different set of engineers to look at this, because I know before we got Scott DeQuay as an attorney, we had some attorneys up here that felt they could win every case. And ended up going settling the case. I wish we'd have had him back then. We'd save a whole lot of money on some of them frivolous lawsuits that we approved. Whole lot of money. So I understand.
Okay, good deal.
Anyone else? Please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palumbo. Announcements, the next city council meeting will be held on Tuesday, November 15th, 2016. The City offices will be closed Tuesday, November 8th, 2016, for Election Day, and Friday, November 11th, in honor of Veterans Day. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Swear, second by Mr. Lewis.